Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Everything is Bad New Fangled Motion Picture Show.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Everything's Bad Newfangled Motion Picture Show. I'm Pokemon Trainer Niall.
And I am Pokemon Master
Breeder.
Nolan.
Pokemon Breeder.
Yeah, I breed them Pokemon.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's just bump the mic there. You know, it's what Brock wanted to do in the cartoon, right?
I think he wanted to breed with everything, as far as I could tell.
I don't think he wanted to breed with the Pokemon, but he wanted to be a Pokemon breeder. Anyway, in case you couldn't tell, we're gonna be reviewing Pokemon Detective Pikachu. We're gonna be doing a spoiler-free review, and then giving you a spoiler warning when we're done with that, and then going more in depth into the movie after that. Which is kind of what we normally do. I gotta lower my chair here. It keeps. There we go. Rubbing the underside of the desk, and I don't know if the mic's picking that up or not.
You know, it's more than kind of what we normally do. It is what we normally do.
Well, you know, it's kind of. Something can be kind of like something else and also be exactly like something else, right?
Not especially. Anyway, Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
So, if you like Pokemon, you'll like this movie.
So I'm gonna go into this and say that even if you don't, you might still like the movie.
Yep.
I am not a Pokemon fan. I've never played a single Pokemon video game. Never played the card game.
And
I have seen one full episode of the TV show, and that was like way back when like the first season. And I saw the very first movie.
Man, that first like series of Pokemon, like the first, I don't know, was it like 4 seasons? I think I don't remember. Those original Pokemon shows is so bad. Like, even if you like Pokemon, it's a bad show.
Basically, everything I know about Pokemon, I learned from you.
Yep.
And maybe a few internet videos.
Because I was... Let's see. Red and Blue came out in, what, 97? Something like that?
Something like that. I was about 13, I think. And I just was not interested.
Yeah.
At all.
And Yellow came out in 99, I think, and I was 8, so I was like right at the right age for that.
So anyway, I went into this movie having very little knowledge of Pokemon. I could maybe name you like 10 Pokemon.
I went in having very little knowledge of Pokemon past Generation 2.
But I enjoyed the movie. The guy next to me, I think, was a big fan. He was like, he just was so like happy, I guess. Like you could just tell like the sounds he was making. He wasn't talking or anything, but he was just like laughing at things that like I'm saying like I didn't even realize that was a joke, but they're like references, I guess, that he got, or like they would show some, you know, he'd see something in the background or something and get excited or whatever. Like this guy next to me was having a great time.
Yeah. So,
but I enjoyed the movie too.
So,
I didn't know
I will say
hardly anything about Pokemon.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
The Ryan Reynolds is why this movie is entertaining. Like all the humor comes from Pikachu.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people wanted Danny DeVito.
There was a Change.org petition.
Yeah,
as I recall,
that could have been as entertaining.
But here's the thing: that would have been funny for a scene, and then it would have gotten old.
But yeah, so Ryan Reynolds does a lot to carry this movie, because he's just very funny, and he's not Deadpool.
No.
All right, let's get this out of the way. He's not like just like Deadpool coming out of Pikachu. It's
Yeah, I don't understand.
Like
I saw someone online was saying how like they didn't like the idea of Ryan Reynolds being Pikachu because I can't see him as anything but Deadpool. I'm like, what does that even mean? He's done 2 Deadpool movies. Ryan Reynolds has done a lot of movies that aren't Deadpool.
Yeah,
I mean, I think the first thing I remember seeing him in was Van Wilder.
that's the first thing I remember him in. Yeah. But yeah,
Or I guess he's been Deadpool in 3 movies. We don't talk about that first time though.
Yeah, well, but no, it's like even if you compare like his tone and pitch, he's definitely like softer as Pikachu. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's definitely a more kid friendly voice coming out, if that makes sense. But it sounds like Ryan Reynolds. He's not doing a voice, but he just
Right.
you know, the way he speaks is different. But I think him and then the main guy, Justice Smith.
Yep. Plays Tim.
Yeah, he does a really good job in the movie too. And one thing that really works for this movie is they take it's serious enough that like you buy that these people live in this world with these Pokemon around them all the time.
So yeah, I will say this about the movies: the motives of the villain are like don't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, we'll get into that in the spoiler section.
You know, like if you need to go into this movie with the idea of I'm gonna go watch this movie that's funny because of the juxtaposition of this like noir detective story in a world with Pokemon in it, which is normally all like bright and lighthearted and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Mewtwo's existential crisis in the original movie and killing a bunch of scientists.
Yeah.
But you know, it's you either go into it with that attitude, or you go into it with just like an I like Pokemon attitude, and you'll be entertained for the hour and 40-minute or whatever runtime.
Yeah.
But the
thing is, you
don't overanalyze the story because it doesn't hold up to scrutiny.
I don't think you necessarily have to have any knowledge of Pokemon to really understand what's going on.
You just have
Things
to know
are weird.
what Pokemon are.
Right. Like you might sit there as a non-fan and be like, well, that's kind of weird, but you accept it's weird because it's Pokemon.
Yep.
But like even like the opening scene establishes the rule of like how you capture establishes like the in-world rules of how you capture a Pokemon.
Yep.
And then for the rest of it, they just like they give you a big exposition dump at one scene that's really clunky.
Yeah.
But if you're an anime fan, you expect that kind of thing because anime always have really clunky exposition dumps.
Yeah. Well. Excuse me. So what's weird though is it's not just an exposition dump of here's the world of Pokemon. It's like going into it even as a fan of Pokemon. This exposition dump needs to happen because it's a city that's not existed in any of the games or the anime.
Right, the exposition dump sets up the society that is
this particular
Rhyme City.
Yeah. It's this particular city has a different set of rules even than the rest of the Pokemon world.
Like there is no one keeps their Pokemon in Pokeballs and there's no Pokemon fighting.
Yep.
Within Rhyme City. So yeah, anyway. But yeah, there's some pretty good humor in the movie. Not just from Pikachu.
Yeah.
There's one sequence that we'll talk about in the spoilers that it was like strangely dark but humorous for its darkness.
Yeah.
And
but yeah, it's not all the comedy comes from Ryan Reynolds, but most of it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this movie, they do a good job of translating Pokemon, which are these weird fantastical creatures, into a, quote unquote, like, real world.
I did notice that, as far as I could tell, I know there's some Pokemon out there that are very bizarre, and they're even like inanimate objects, like not.
Oh yeah, there's one
living
that's
thing.
an ice cream cone. There's one that's
they don't have any of those in this
there's
movie.
one
From
that's
what I
like
can tell.
there's one that's like a ring of keys.
Yeah, I know there's one that's like a magnet or something, right? Or
Well, it's a ball with an eye
yeah,
and magnets on the side.
It seems like
they stick to
the
ones
more
that are
animal ones.
Yeah, they stick to ones that are definitely more creature like. So
yeah,
Pikachu and Psyduck are you see those in the trailer. I mean,
Charizard is in there.
Yeah, Charizard's in the trailer, but they put a lot of Pokemon in the background in places like there's Snorlax in there. There's an Eevee and a Flareon in there, and like there's a Machamp directing traffic. I think that's in the trailer too.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's the guy with the 4 arms or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what's his name from Street Fighter? Is it Street Fighter?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. I don't play fighting games. But anyway, so yeah, they stick to a lot of the more animal-like Pokemon, so things don't seem just bizarrely out of place. No Voltorbs. No,
Yeah, I think that would have gotten
shit
a little too weird for some of the people who are
for
not.
some of the normies.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know of these Pokemon going into it. I've seen the pictures and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't myself see any of the especially strange ones.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good call.
Yeah, that's absolutely the best call they could have done for this movie. Because you want to have creatures in there that you could look at and believe existing next to these real live humans.
Yeah.
But they do a good job of doing that and still keeping the appearance of the Pokemon. So, like, I mean, you look at Pikachu and you just immediately go, yes, that is Pikachu. There's nothing about this that isn't Pikachu.
Right.
Unlike Sonic.
Yeah.
It's the same animation studio, by the way. So don't blame the studio on that one. That absolutely has to be an executive decision somewhere at Paramount.
I will say, Psyduck kind of freaks me out a little bit. Just the look of him, he's just so, I don't know, Howard the Duck.
Dude, and in the anime, Psyduck was just the worst. Like, even when I was a little kid, I did not like Psyduck.
As a character, I didn't mind him at all. I think they used him some pretty good comedic
effect.
Yeah,
in the movie he was fine.
They used him some pretty good comedic effect, but just looking at him, I'm just like, Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
It's like,
but so yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about Detective Pikachu.
There were a few times where some of the animation, never on Pikachu or Psyduck or any of the ones that are like real front and center. But there were, every once in a while there was one where like, they could have done a little better job rendering that.
So I will say that Mewtwo's teeth kind of weirded me out.
Why?
Well, for one thing, I never realized that he had a mouth. But I don't know, it's like they gave him the same human teeth that they gave Sonic.
Wait, he's like, mouth moves when he talks. It's the same Mewtwo from that first movie too, right?
Yeah, so I mean, a little bit of a spoiler.
if you've seen the second trailer, you know Mewtwo's in it.
Yeah, if you've seen the second trailer, you know Mewtwo's in it, and I guess if you really think about it, it's not really a spoiler because there's only one Mewtwo. But yeah,
well, I should say they acknowledge that first movie happened within this world.
They imply heavily that it's the same Mewtwo as the other one, as the original Pokemon the first movie. I think is what it was officially called.
That's the only one I've seen. because I took you to see that in the theater.
Yeah. I remember you taking me to see Pokemon 2000, and then you went and saw a different movie that was playing at the same time.
Yeah.
But anyway, which, as I recall, was a better movie. But anyway, so yeah, they acknowledge that, or they imply that the events of that first movie happened, and that this is the same Mewtwo. Of course, that's always been Mewtwo's origin story, being created in a lab as a clone of Mew. Again, the video games, you can go to the burned down lab on Cinnabar Island, which is where you catch like all the fire Pokemon that exist in the game, basically. And if you read all the notes and stuff, it talks about how they've researched and cloned this Mewtwo there, and you can go into the cave near. Can't remember the name of the city.
I don't know, but when you said Cinnabar, my mind immediately jumped to some delicious cinnamon pastry.
But anyway, yeah, it's so that's always been Mewtwo's origin story, and the anime and the games are decidedly not in the same canon. So it could just be that this is its own canon, and he just has the same origin story.
Yeah.
So, you take that either way. I think it makes sense to...
Weren't there some flashback scenes where they kind of recreated some shots from the show?
From the
in
show?
live action? Yeah. Or something. I don't know. I was reading something about that.
Oh, I
would not have recognized them myself.
I mean, I probably wouldn't either. I haven't watched those shows since I was just, 12 or something. But the... Yeah, I think I kind of like the idea of sort of making it be in the same canon as the anime, but I don't know. It's a cute movie.
Yeah,
they use one hell and one damn in there. I think is there swear words.
They almost say
they imply a shit.
Yeah, but I think they do a really good job of they take the source material seriously enough that you believe that this world is real, and they sell the idea of everyone living with the Pokemon, and then most of the acting is pretty good.
I mean, this movie has Bill Nighy and Ken Watanabe in it. That's pretty awesome.
But yeah, I think they do a pretty good job of it. So let's get into the spoiler.
Yep.
Section.
Spoilers henceforth. You've been warned.
Yeah.
And Bill Nighy is I don't think he's ever played a good guy.
I was calling it pretty much from the beginning. Like, he's gonna wind up being the bad guy, right?
Yeah, he just kind of got that vibe.
But the thing I was talking about, the sequence that I just thought was really funny is when they're interrogating the Mr. Mime.
Oh, yeah.
And so Tim, Justice Smith's character, he's like, "Oh, I got this," and he goes in and he starts like acting like miming like he's splashing gasoline on it.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Mime's like, "Oh no!" And there's like, and then he pulls out like this box. It's all like mimed, right? And he's pulling out like a box of matches, and Mr. Mime's like blowing them out. He's like, "All right, I got it." And so he like makes like a line of gasoline out like away from the Mr. Mime, and he's sitting there with like acts like he strikes a match.
I think it would have been funny if he let it burn down too far and it burned his fingers.
But anyway, he drops it like when they're done interrogating. He just like opens his hand up because he like just forgets that it. But then you hear the sound of like a match hitting and then the gasoline igniting.
Yeah, and they cut away before you see what Mr. Mime does.
Yeah, it's.
That got dark.
I just want to take that scene and like put like that song from Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even Pikachu was like, "Wow, that got dark." Yeah, there's a lot of scenes in this movie that are just like straight out of textbook noir detective stuff. I mean, there's like when he goes into his dad's apartment and there's like the neon lights outside shining through the blinds into the office.
Yeah,
and stuff like
it
that.
seems like that. The people I've seen multiple people online compare the movie to Blade Runner in that there's just a lot of neon and a lot of the movie takes place at night.
Yeah.
And it's like this very crowded city with a lot of neon signs. People
compare it to Blade Runner because noir detective stuff isn't really a thing anymore, but that's what Blade Runner was going for.
Yeah.
And so it's like the only thing that a lot of people have as a point of reference for that sort of aesthetic. But yeah, I mean, a lot of like Sin City had the same sort of aesthetics as well. It's I think it was pretty cool.
So, all right, the bad guy's motivation, Bill Nighy, is he's trying to find a way to transfer his consciousness into Mewtwo because he's wheelchair bound, and which he does, but then for whatever reason he doesn't stop there. That would have been pretty impressive, and no one would have really gotten hurt, except there's the ethical thing of you're taking control of this creature. But beyond that, then his plan is also, on top of that, is to make every person in the city combine with their Pokemon. So their consciousness is inside.
Yeah, because apparently Mewtwo has that ability.
But only if the Pokemon like lose control of themselves. So there's also this like rage gas that he sprays on them. So for whatever reason, he decides that everyone in the city needs to be combined with their Pokemon. And so the only people that are like left uncombined are Tim and Pikachu.
Yeah.
Oh, and his son, the bad guy's son, who's...
Well, yeah, it wouldn't have worked on Pikachu either, because...
Spoiler, he's already Tim's dad.
Which, I mean, was pretty obvious from the trailer. People were calling that.
Yeah, people have been calling that for a while. But yes, we're confirming that Tim's dad is Ryan Reynolds, and he's inside his Pikachu.
Look how cute that Pikachu.
Oh, he's got a little, like, foam mustache.
Yeah, he was drinking a latte.
Yeah. That's adorable.
They did a really good job animating the Pikachu.
His little deerstalker hat.
Yep.
So, yeah, anyway, I didn't understand his motivations beyond... I understood his motivations for wanting to have the freedom that putting his mind inside the Mewtwo would give him. He can go anywhere and be stronger and whatever. And he's not stuck in his wheelchair anymore. I understand that. I don't understand his motivations for the rest of the plan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically what I've seen most people complaining about.
Yeah.
So, interesting thing about this, though, is I guess Bill Nighy's really into Pokemon now. He, like, collects merchandise and stuff, and he, like, bought a bunch of books about collecting Pokemon stuff.
Everyone needs a hobby.
I just think it's funny. It's like, Bill Nighy, he's kind of an old guy, and he's, like, this really acclaimed, really accomplished actor.
It'd be funny if he did that with, like, every movie. Like, he also has, like, a huge Pirates of the Caribbean collection or something.
I also don't know for sure if... I also don't really know for sure if he got into Pokemon as a result of being a Detective Pikachu, or if he got into Pokemon collecting and that made him want to be in Detective Pikachu.
Yeah. I suppose either's possible.
Yeah. But yeah, and they do a really good job of animating the Pokemon based on what the humans are doing. So like when Tim picks up the Pikachu and to put him on his shoulder. They do a really good job of animating Pikachu,
but also
that.
He sells it as an actor because it looks like he's like
hefting.
He's hefting like Pikachu's on his shoulder and he's walking around with his head tilted to the side because Pikachu's sitting on his shoulder, and
yeah,
and all that. So the actors sell it, the animators sell it, and they did a really good job You know what? It's the eyes on Pikachu. They put a lot of emotion in his eyes.
Yeah.
Managed to do that. Aw, he's just so adorable.
Yep.
But, yeah. That's that scene you were talking about there?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the lick-a-tongue scene, dude. Ugh.
There's a lot of Pokemon slobber in this movie. There's is that thing's called a Lickitung?
Yeah, on the train.
Yeah, that like
Yeah.
slobbers all over him, and then like later when the ninja ones.
Greninja.
Okay, yeah, they got the girl character Lucy, I think her name is. One was got her like its tongue like wrapped around her and holding her like hostage, and it's like kind of a creepy. It's like this alien like scene where he like walks to the door and like this like thick clear goop drips on him, you know, and I'm like, it's like a xenomorph above his head.
The Greninja, like his tongue's so long, he wraps it around his head like a scarf, and that's his like
you'd
ninja
get a lot
mask.
of. I feel like you get a lot of like gross stuff on your tongue.
Yeah, probably.
But it's wrapped around her, and then like he's like clinging to the ceiling, and so it's like dripping down on him and stuff. So yeah,
There's a bold line on that Mr. Mime's shoulder.
yeah, you never noticed that before?
No.
Yeah, he looks like he's made out of like rubber.
They look like kickballs. Like those rubber...
Oh yeah, it's got that like pattern with the 3-line, like alternating the 3 lines.
Yeah, it's like the balls, the red balls you would play Foursquare with in elementary school.
I think Mr. Mime would not be my first choice for a Pokemon. Were I to live in that world, because I
mean, a
think
pretty
it would
good
creep me
psychic
out.
type Pokemon, Nolan.
I think it would creep me out.
More so or less?
I feel
so
like
than a
I like
Jinx?
wake up and it would just be standing there in my bedroom watching me or something.
Would you be more or less creeped out? Would a Mr. Mime creep you out more or less than a Jinx?
What's a Jinx?
Oh man, I'll show you what a Jinx is later. It's horrifying. But anyway, so yeah, I mean,
Look how sad he looks.
it's so cute.
Oh.
Aw, really cute movie.
Yeah.
If you like Pokemon, you have to go see it.
I was looking at reviews on IMDb, and a lot of people are getting pretty good reviews, but then every once in a while there's one person that just like
Doesn't get
absolutely hates the movie. Sometimes they claim to be Pokemon fans, and then they're like, "Oh, they just got it completely wrong." And I'm like, well, I mean, the Pokemon fan sitting next to me at the theater seemed to love it. Not you, but the guy on the other side.
Yeah.
He was just delighted by this movie, and he's probably like maybe a few years younger than me, so he's probably been into it from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I guess just some people just didn't get it. And
Dude, this was absolutely the best they could do. Like, this is absolutely the best live-action Pokemon movie they could have made.
I think I think they were smart in not making this about Pokemon training and capturing and stuff.
Well, that's why they went with Detective Pikachu for the story.
Right. For one thing, your main character has no Pokemon, so he's kind of like your window into the world almost.
Yeah.
He brings you in to it, and then he's a sympathetic character to begin with, and then I was just thinking though at the end though he's gonna have to get his own Pokemon because his Pikachu is his dad's Pokemon, and also I think he's gonna always be disappointed because he's never gonna be able to talk to that Pokemon the way he talked with Pikachu.
I mean, he could go get that Mr. Mime.
Because spoiler, it's like probably just a puddle.
You think he actually burned that Mr. Mime alive?
But spoiler, Ryan Reynolds is his dad, and he was inside
pretty obvious.
Yeah, inside the Pokemon, inside
like,
Pikachu.
Oh, they're making it a point to not show us what his dad looked like. I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it was a surprise at all.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting it, but I was also thinking it'd be funny if they like were hiding it, and because they wanted to be like a big reveal, like when they finally see his dad, because it's like, I don't know, like Will Smith or Sam Jackson or something. Like some really big name.
Yeah. You couldn't have kept that a secret though.
No.
But so anyway, yeah, go see Detective Pikachu if you have kids, or if you're a fan of Pokemon, and you pretty much have to.
Yeah.
So go check it out though. I think there's plenty there for parents to enjoy their trip with their kids.
Oh yeah, there's jokes in there for the parents. Definitely. Most of it from Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
But not that he's like, foul mouthed or anything.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong in that. And he's not like Deadpool.
It's absolutely a kid friendly movie.
No, yeah. It's PG, so it's doesn't push the boundaries beyond that, so. I guess that's about it.
Yep, so next movie we're going to review is going to be John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, which we'll have to figure out when we can go see that. It's next weekend's shot. But then after that is Aladdin. So we'll probably release a review for Parabellum like the Tuesday after it comes out, probably.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we're seeing Aladdin the week after that, which, oh boy, that has the potential to just be awful. It might be good, but man, there's all.
Got a creaky chair there, buddy.
I know. They're gonna have to. I mean, it's Guy Ritchie.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
You didn't know that?
No.
So it might not be terrible, but like everything.
So if you just replace like all like the genie humor from the original movie with the Guy Ritchie like verbal humor. Yeah,
like Guy Ritchie can write funny dialogue for sure. Although he's one of the writers too. So like I said, it can potentially come out well, but I think that it would be very easy to screw it up.
I think Will Smith needs to just make it his own. He needs to like not imitate at all.
Yeah, he needs to not even
Robin
attempt
Williams.
to be Robin Williams as Genie.
Yeah, he just needs to make it his own thing. I think that's the best thing he could do.
But then at the end of the month, we've got Godzilla King of the Monsters, which looks really cool. That just looks like a fun, badass movie, you know?
And Rocketman.
And Rocketman. We're gonna see Godzilla and Mothra versus Rodan and Ghidorah. Oh, it's gonna be so cool.
And a whole bunch of other monsters, because I think this is like 17 or something.
Well, they said that there's a there's a total of 17 monsters that they know of.
Mm.
I'm sure one of them is Kong. Has to be, right?
Right. Because that's gonna set up Godzilla versus Kong, right?
Yes, it should.
Which is also in the works.
Yep. And then after that's Dark Phoenix, which looks bad. And then Men in Black 2 or Men in Black 4. I don't know why I said 2. Men in Black 4.
Men in Black International.
It's the fourth one.
And Shaft.
The
Dead Don't Die.
Is that all the same weekend? Oh, it is.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hefty weekend. And then Toy Story 4, which I am not at all excited to see that movie. So that's what we got coming up. We're getting into the summer. We're in the summer movie season now, I should say, even though it's not summer yet. So there's a lot to see.
Yeah.
A lot going on. My favorite time of year is Christmas. This is my second favorite time of year just because of all the movies coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right,
get psyched. Tons of movies coming up. I'm excited. Are you excited, Nolan?
I'm excited.
We're gonna eat so much popcorn and drink so much cherry Coke.
Yeah.
Yep. So, until next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Toodles.